The world today, we need hope. We need a word from God that's going to let us know that He's still able and He's still powerful and He's still able to bring us out of whatever we are going through.
All right.
I am excited on what David writes about, because in the first few scriptures of this psalm, David explains what he's going through. The Bible says that his son Absalom just left him, left him out in the wilderness, left him to do whatever he wanted to do. And the Bible says that David was in a point of his life where everybody around him, the preachers, the prophets, everybody that were so-called Christians, forsaked him. They left him. They went as far as to say that not even God can help you. Now, some of you might have found yourself in that moment, or may be in that moment, to where you are so low, you are so in the world that you feel like you're too low for God. There's no way God can get you where you're at. There's no way that God's going to go all the way from heaven and reach down to where you're at. That's why David said that he was in his holy hill. Because David was in a moment where he felt low. He felt like a nobody.
Come on.
You might be in a low stage in your life. But I like what the song said. It reaches to the highest mountain. And it can still flow to the lowest valley. So if you find yourself low, don't worry. The blood still has power. The blood still works. The blood can still find you in the low stage in your life. It don't matter if everybody's against you. It don't matter if everybody's talking about you. The blood still has power to find you and to bring you back to the altar. It still has power. And David said, you know what? He was in a point where he found out that the blood still works. It seems like for a moment, David had his eyes on man and not on God. Because, you know, if we put our eyes on man, we will get so disappointed. We will get let down so bad because man fail you every day of your life. But I thank God that David realized that my eyes should not be on man, but my eyes need to be on God, because my help is in God, my hope is in God, my faith is in God. Men are going to fail me all the time, but as long as I keep my eyes on Jesus, I will never be disappointed. I will always have a smile on my face. Though hell rises up against me, I will still find a way to be happy because my eyes are set on God.
Amen. Thank you.
My eyes are set on God and not on man. You know, it's amazing when your eyes are set on God. You can have zero in your bank account, but you're still happy. Your house can be falling apart, but you're still happy. Because the joy of the Lord is my strength. That means every day of my life, even when it's bad, even when it's good, even when I'm low, even when I'm high, I'm still happy, I'm still joyful, because the joy of the Lord is my strength. It's my strength. Verse 5 tells us that he laid down to sleep. If you read the history of Psalms 3, you find out that David hadn't slept for a long time because of the stress he was under. His son left him. Everybody left him. So he was at a place where there was just darkness around him. That's why he said in verse 5, I slept. It seems like nothing, but when you find out what David was going through and where he was at in that verse, he was so joyful because he got to sleep and he got to wake up. How many times do we take advantage of waking up?
Come on, tell it.
Do you know how many people go to sleep at night and never wake up the next morning? But you're here today. You know why? Not to look pretty, not to do whatever you want to do, but to give glory unto God. Each and every person that is in this place, you are not here by coincidence. You are here because God has a purpose over your life. You woke up this morning because God is saying, son, daughter, there is a job for you. I got something for you to do. Stop wasting your time.
All right.
Wasting our time. The book of 1 Thessalonians. And the 5th chapter. It tells us, and it makes many remarks that we're going through in this world. Verse 3. For when they shall say peace and safety, then sudden destruction cometh upon them. We were having a conversation in school, and they were saying that the government was saying that we were safe. We were good. Everything was good. Everybody's safe. But that is a lie. The church is in danger. Let me say that again. I said the church is in danger. They are telling you that you're safe. They are trying to make you believe that everything's good, but really there is so much going on out there we don't even know.
Amen.
That's why he said in verse 6, therefore, let us not sleep as do others, but let us watch and be sober.
Watch and be sober. Amen.
You know, there are so many churches that are sleeping
Right.
in the middle of everything that's going on. Let me say it this way. There are so many individuals that are sleeping while everything's going on. I refuse to sleep. I said, I refuse to sleep.
Amen.
I will not rest until this church is full. I will not rest till all my family is serving God. I will not rest until everything is assured. Until God really lets me know and shows me that my family is saved.
Amen.
I will not rest. When I came back, the Monday I came back from my grandparents' house, and my parents were in the car. And they told me get in, not knowing why. And we went to the church to pray. And it got me excited because we need prayer back in our church. We need prayer back in our church. Because let me tell you something, prayer is the only thing that's going to fight off this enemy. Prayer is the only thing that's going to keep us safe. We're not safe in these four walls. We're not safe in this building, but we're safe in the arms of God as long as we're in His presence. The presence of God is not in a building. The presence of God is not in music. The presence of God is everywhere your foot goes, because our feet are holy. Our body is holy. If you are baptized in Jesus' name, filled with the gift of the Holy Ghost, you are the body. You are the temple of Jesus Christ. The presence of God dwelleth inside of you. So everywhere you go, your school, your job, there is a presence of God that is following you everywhere you go. So let me tell you something. Watch out on where you go.
That's right. Amen. All right. Come on.
Watch out where your feet go. Because we are the temple of God. And the temple of God has no business in filthy places.
Amen.
I said the temple of God has no business in filthy, ungodly places. You're the church. There's coming a time where they're going to lock this building. They're going to shut this building down. What are we going to do? That's when we're going to realize that we are the church. I said we are the church. Wherever we go, we should have church. Whoever we talk to, we should talk to them about Jesus. Stop with the filthy conversations, talking about ungodly stuff. You are the temple of God. It's time we start sharing this gospel. You don't need a pulpit. You don't need a microphone. You don't even need a Bible, because the Word of God should be in here to where we can sit down with somebody and we can say, look, this is what the Bible said. We don't need to pull out this thing. We don't need to stand behind a pulpit. We don't need a microphone to talk. All we need to do is open our mouth.
Amen.
And speak. What thus saith the Lord. I saw many things over there in California. There were many messages brought. And almost every message, I could say every message, talked about that the time is near. It's not normal for a huge convention service for them to be talking about the last days. But because of what's going on, that's all we can preach about. Because it's so obvious of what's going on right now. It's so, everybody knows. Who was I talking to? Somebody, my teacher. He said, Jayden, I was reading the book of Revelation, and it's so crazy because everything that the book of Revelation is talking about is happening now. Amen. He's not apostolic. He's not Pentecostal. In fact, he's Catholic. But he knows because it's so obvious of what's going on.
Amen. Amen.
Now let me tell you, church, we need to get right.